Hey guys, welcome back to Vince-Vell Customs. Today we're going to do a how-to video on working with Archer Fine Transfer decal eyes. Now this specific set is the superhero eye set designed by me working with Woody at Archer Fine Transfers that came up with a nice good design of superhero eyes. Now since most superhero eyes are green and blue, that's pretty much what the sheet is, but you have some browns, purples, and yellow oranges for specific characters. So the tools to get this process done, and what I like to use is all this. I have a 1-0 paintbrush. I have a nice fine tweezers, very small tip, a sharp X-Acto blade. The eyes come with directions. I like to use Tamiya White X2 and Garage Kit's Tongue Color for pinks, a cup of water, and Future 4 polish, and of course your statue with the eyes. So, first step is I like to use the Tamiya White on the eyes because if you get a nice, good, smooth coat and you kind of work the paint, you'll get a nice, glossy white eye. And I like it because when this paint dries, it's kind of like a candy shell. Because I find that if you use some other whites, they're kind of chalky and they're flat. What happens is when you start using water on them, the water kind of pulls them up faster than the Tamiya. That's kind of why I like the Tamiya. And I use the Garage Kit's tongue because I like to use a little bit of pinks into the bottom and in the corners of the eye, so it kind of makes it a little bit more realistic than actually just slapping some white paint on the eye. So that's kind of what I do, and of course I did the mouth as well, but we'll get to that later. So, once that's all done, and you give that a day or so to dry, because if you try to work with it right away, the paint's still soft, and if you put a heavy coat on, it's kind of wet underneath the paint because the outside of Tamiya will dry faster. So you let that sit. So the next step is you want to go and you want to find which eyes you're going to use. So she's blue eyes, so I'll be cutting these two middle ones down here because that's in scale and that's what I want to do. And then what you want to do is you want to read your directions. You want to get an idea of how to cut the eyes and how they place into the eye socket. Now, you never have a complete circle in the eye because you always have the top eyelid covering that top eye. And the bottom of the circle of the eye is always hitting there, so that's when you're looking straight on. Of course, when you're looking up, you still see the bottom of it, and when you look down, the eyelid still comes with it in a way. So you got to kind of position them correctly where the eye is right. So here it tells you how to cut the eyes. Now, if you look at your statue, and she's going to be looking to the left, you got to cut it and cut a little bit more because the eyelid will be covering that a little bit. But so this is kind of give you an idea, and I'm going to show you how I cut them so it makes my life easier how to get them on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up to where I cut the eyes. Then what we'll do is we'll show you how I place them on, and then I'll show you how I seal them. Because this is basically all you need is the water, the tweezers, and everything first. And the last step sealing is the Future 4 polish. So we'll get set up, we'll cut the eyes, and we'll start doing this to show you guys how this all works out. Alright, so basically we're going to start cutting out the eye. So basically I like to cut the top of the eye going this direction. So you get kind of that top off. Then I like to cut the eye but not hitting the iris. All that there. Hit the bottom of it. There. And I kind of like to give myself like an arrow, like a point. So I kind of cut this direction and that direction. So because I'm a righty and I like to work righty, I use that so I can kind of grab it. So as you can see, you got the eye, and I like to work with it like that. So pretty much I got the eye all set up. So the next step is what we do is we dip this in water and we get it onto the statue. So let me set up the statue to show you how we get that on. Alright, so what I like to do is I like to take the eye, start getting it nice and wet, put it on your finger. You can do a couple different ways. You just want to be very careful. It'll start coming off, and if you're really delicate with the tweezers, you can kind of grab that little point. And you could get the eye onto the statue. It might take some trial and error, but that's one eye. So the next eye you have to kind of do the same thing. Now because I'm writing, the camera's in a way, I'll have to set that up differently. But basically there's a couple ways of doing it. If you're good with the tweezers and you get the tweezer on, or if you get on your finger and you can use the paintbrush, or you can put the piece here. So you got to kind of play with it and find out what's best for you. It's very difficult for me with this camera in a way because I don't have it in my face and everything, but that's pretty much how you get the eye on there. And then once this eye is all dried, we can seal it up. So I'm going to set up the other eye and we'll come back after I'm able to start sealing it up. Alright, at this point basically what you do is you want to kind of gloss coat it and seal it all up. So basically you want to get a nice paintbrush, some of your Future 4 polish, and you want to just get in there and gloss it up. It pretty much seals it. Now you want to be careful not to go too heavy, because if you go too heavy you could kind of start mushing around the eye a little bit. But while I'm at it, I can gloss up the teeth a little bit. But pretty much get in there and you let it seal. Let it sit. Don't start messing with it. I have to do all the details with the eyes, with the eyelashes, and the mouth and everything. But I like to let it sit for a while and really seal up and gloss coat it, because you really don't want to mess with Future 4 polish while trying to do the black eye while it's still wet. But that's pretty much how you work the transfers. Like I said, it is a learning curve. It's taken me a lot of practice to get it done correctly. It's very delicate, but makes your life a lot easier. So that's pretty much how I work it out. Thanks for watching the videos, and we'll see you next time.